I am Jose Maria Marin. I am the lead of OGP Local, and it is with great pleasure and honor to be here with such a distinguished group of local leaders, civil society champions, and open government advocates. I was reflecting last night about this table, and it came to mind that bringing together mayors, governors, leaders, partners, and civil society is a bit like assembling a jazz band. Each of you play a different instrument. Government sets the rhythm. Civil society brings the melody, and the partners help amplify the sound. If we play in harmony, we can make something really powerful. But if we don't listen to each other, well, let's say nobody really enjoys a bad saxophone solo. Local governments are on the front lines of the world's biggest challenges, whether it is economic inequality, climate change, housing crisis, or even something as basic as making sure that our roads don't become rivers during rainy season. The burden and the opportunity rests at the local level. And yet local leaders are often expected to do more with less. And that's where the open government becomes a game changer. When local leaders embrace transparency, participation, and accountability, they unlock new ways to solve problems, not just for their communities, but with them. And when citizens feel included, it doesn't just make policies better, it makes governing easier. When people see the process, they can trust the outcome. OGP Local has already shown what's possible. 150 local members around the world are demonstrating the power of it. But there's a challenge. Only 22 of those members are from the Asia and the Pacific region. And that means we have a huge opportunity to expand, to deepen, to accelerate the impact of open government in this region. This roundtable is all about sharing and learning. We will hear from local government leaders about the open government reforms they want to achieve, but also the ones they are most proud of. We will also hear from civil society leaders about successful collaboration and how we can do better. And finally, our partners will share how they can help scale up these efforts across the region. A few ground rules, as I will be moderating this session. Please keep interventions short and sharp. We want to have time to hear everybody, but more importantly, we want to be able to get out to eat lunch on time. I will be calling on you in random order, an order that only I know, to keep you all engaged and guessing who will be next. This is the first of many such conversations that we will bring you together to shape the future where every local government is an open local government. So let's get started, because if there's one thing local leaders and civil society have in common, is this: they don't wait for change. They make change happen. Good. So I would like to begin giving the word to our incoming CEO, Aidan Eyakuse.
Thank you very much, Jose. Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be in this room, and I'll tell you why with a story. My first OGP Global Summit was in Mexico. I think it was in 2015. I had flown, 24 hours from Dar es Salaam via Los Angeles to Mexico City, and I was very jet-lagged. And the first day, I was put on a panel. I didn't know this. And I was asked, so how do you make this, what do you make of this OGP thing? And the things that popped into my mind was, well, we've got to turn the abstract idea into something very concrete. I was actually appealing for them to explain to me what OGP was all about. Later on that day, I went into a side meeting where the idea of localizing OGP first was mooted by two people, Julie McCarthy and Martin Tisney at that time. And that's when it clicked to me as to what the importance of OGP was when it was able to change people's lives on a daily basis. So being here with you is a fantastic culmination for me of that journey that started when I was deeply jet-lagged in Mexico City to actually seeing it happen here in Asia Pacific and around the world, and how it has grown from an idea into 150 particular partners. So I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. You know, since the early days, local open government has been a source of innovation and action within OGP, and it continues to be that way. Each of you is a leader in this field, and you have so much inspiration and experience to share on how open government is transforming your people and your communities. So we're here to listen. I'm here to suck from you all the inspiration that I can get, exchange ideas, and chart pathways to scale open government together. Let me reflect with you on three key messages on the uniqueness of local government. First of all, and again to repeat, local open government changes lives. Your decisions, your actions have a direct impact on citizens' lives. Over the past 9 years, OGP Local has shown how open government fulfills its promise by working for the people and working with the people. We have seen local governments become more inclusive, like in South Cotabato, and I had a great conversation yesterday with the governor here in the Philippines, where they're working with young people to promote their engagement in advancing transparency and fostering more significant participation in the decisions and the policies that affect them. And in Semarang and West Sumbawa in Indonesia, where spaces for dialogue are supporting groups such as women, children, and seniors to voice their concerns and to propose solutions. You are tackling your community's issues head on. First, through open government, from improving access to public buildings, such as in Vanadzor, Armenia, to expanding maternal health in Banggai, Indonesia. You are improving efficiency through better public procurement in Larena, here in the Philippines, and fighting climate change in Yerevan, Armenia, where citizen participation promoted the adoption of energy efficiency solutions in daycare centers so that more money could be saved and be put towards childcare. Together, these examples remind us of the power of open government to bridge the gap between policy and people, unlocking solutions tailored to the unique needs of every community. Message number 2, OGP Local drives impact and drives innovation. OGP Local is closer to the citizens than our national processes, and that proximity, one would even say intimacy, creates space for direct dialogue, experimentation, and co-creation with citizens. And this dynamic is transforming open government approaches. And to my mind, it also legitimizes open government approaches in the eyes of both the participants, citizens and governments, and even observers, those who are looking on to see whether it actually makes the difference. For example, in Baguio City in Philippines, is embedding citizen participation into its governance through its Citizens Council. In Quezon City, again, here in the Philippines, they use technology to provide services more efficiently and more openly. In Armavir, Armenia, and Tagbilaran, Philippines, participation in the budget process is sparking the imagination of residents to create a much better place to live. My third message, OGP Local is a strong, connected, and growing community leading to impact at scale. By early 2025, over 30 new local action plans will be launched in this region. You are all part of a dynamic global community of 150 local governments, and you're leading by example across 47 countries. But it doesn't end there. The true promise of local open government lies in your sheer number across the world. Let me quote one person maybe who's not very open, but I'm told Stalin once said, quantity has its own quality. Quantity has its own quality. Look at termite mounds, look at beehives. Quantity has its own quality. The true promise of local open government lies in your sheer numbers across the world. Your pioneering work is inspiring action by many more local and national governments across the whole of the partnership and beyond the partnership. Collaboration amongst different levels of government has proven effective in leading to impact. This can take the shape of different government levels working together in national action plans or open state practices, as again we're seeing in Armenia, in Indonesia, and the Philippines. So impact comes from going beyond our own boundaries, our own borders. So in closing, let me say this. Open local government is at the heart of what OGP is about. You are close to the people, are inclusive of the people, make a difference in the daily lives of the people. OGP provides a platform, but it is your leadership that turns this potential into results and into impact. And so I urge you to foster greater collaboration, deliver concrete results. You're already doing so, we need more. And to encourage wider adoption of open government principles in the region. Today, we look forward to hearing how open government is improving your communities and how we can extend those successes beyond local borders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aidan, for those words. I would like to call next on Diana Torres. She's the Regional Governance Advisor in UNDP's Bangkok Regional Hub and is a co-convener of this meeting right here. And it's been a pleasure to be able to collaborate with you in bringing this group together. And also thank you for always being a champion for open government and very much looking forward to our collaboration in the future. Diana.
Thank you, Jose. Distinguished government representatives, governors and mayors, Mr. Aidan Ejakusi, incoming CEO of OGP, Mr. Jose Maria Marin, lead of OGP Local, members of civil society, dear partners and colleagues, good morning. On behalf of UNDP, it is really my great privilege to welcome you all to this local leaders roundtable, driving open government, action and ambition in Asia and the Pacific. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today in this conversation. The theme of the roundtable centers on leadership and local governance, an issue of growing significance as Asia and the Pacific continue to experience the fastest urbanization rates in the world. Over 55% of the global urban population lives in this region. UN estimates that by 2050, almost 70% of the people will be living in cities in this region. This demographic shift from the rural to an urban region underscores cities' immense responsibility in shaping national and global development. You know very well that achieving the SDGs depends on local action. Nearly 65% of the SDG targets require local implementation, making cities and municipalities frontline actors in poverty reduction, education, public health, and climate resilience. For today, allow me to highlight 3 key messages as well that will help us inform our discussion. The first message is about the essential role of visionary and collaborative leadership that is required today. Governments alone cannot and should not shape local futures. Inclusive, greener, and more resilient cities are built through collaboration among citizens, private sector, academia, and governments. The traditional top-down decision-making model and siloed response is inadequate for today's challenges. Instead, leadership that is collaborative and future-oriented is essential to meeting citizens' needs and aspirations and to protect the rights of future generations, as well as to attract private sector collaboration and investment in a transparent and responsible manner. Digital and innovative platforms now make engaging citizens and gathering feedback from stakeholders easier, fostering a closer connection between governments and citizens. An inspiring example in Asia, for example, is in the city of Bangkok, Thailand, which has adopted an open government approach using open data, open contracts, and open dialogue to build public trust and foster citizen and private sector engagement in the city's green and resilient urban transformation. The second message is about the need for local and urban governments to change and to adapt to today's complex challenges. City leaders are no longer just administrators. They must be visionaries and problem solvers. Rapid urbanization, climate change, economic disruptions, and geopolitical shifts require you to excel in two things. One, adaptation, responding to the immediate risk like climate disasters and economic shocks while protecting and working with your communities. The second is anticipation, using innovation, data, and digital tools to build resilience and prepare for future challenges. For example, in this region, the Baguio city in the Philippines is leveraging digital innovation to enhance resilience. Its livability index tracks sustainability and quality of life indicators across all barangays, while its digital twin city initiative uses simulations and infrastructure in the infrastructure planning and for climate risk response. These initiatives have earned Baguio City a recognition for its commitment to sustainable urban transformation at the recent CityNet SDG Awards. My third message is about putting people at the center of governance. This is central for tackling corruption, inequalities, and environmental degradation. Inclusion in governance means two things: ensuring public goods and services are accessible to all, particularly to the marginalized groups, cutting down the bureaucracy and the red tape, and putting people at the center, a human-centered design for public service and services and goods. It also means actively engaging citizens in decision-making, in policy implementation, and in oversight and accountability. The Musrembang process in Indonesia demonstrates this commitment, where participatory budgeting aligns with local development priorities with community needs. UNDP has been a proud partner in supporting this people-centered approach of local planning. Similarly, the city of Dangari in Nepal is deploying the Namaste app, Mayor app, that is enabling citizens to report corruption and services concerns, improving accountability and governance, as well as people trust in the local administration. Let me conclude by emphasizing that local leaders are shaping the future of Asia Pacific. And to ensure that this future is sustainable, inclusive, and resilient, greater emphasis is needed on the innovative, open, and adaptive forms of governance at all levels. In this context of complexity and rapid change, local actors are no longer only responders to climate and economic shocks, but proactive drivers of sustainable and resilient communities. UNDP stands ready to support you in this transformation, and I encourage you to stay connected with UNDP country offices and the UN country teams as we work together to build well-managed, green, inclusive, and thriving cities and municipalities for all cities in the region. Thank you for listening, and I look for an engaging discussion today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana, for those reflections and always being UNDP an important partner in this movement. So we've heard a couple of examples, but I think it's best that we turn to the leaders on the ground that are leading these, that can tell us a little bit more about this, both from government, civil society, and our partners. We are many, and there isn't enough time, so I'm usually very nice and very kind, but I have to be a little bit strict on timing, so please excuse me for that. But I'm sure that I won't need to be mean, as you all stick to your time. But we heard just about urbanization. If I'm not mistaken, here Quezon City is one of the biggest cities in the Philippines, and I would like to give the word and invite Joy Belmonte, Mayor of Quezon City, as our first speaker.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I did not expect to be the first speaker. I thought it would be Mayor Benji Magalong over there. But for context, and if I got the question correctly, we were told to prepare what we believed was one of the most probably outstanding projects that we have done in support of or in alignment with the Open Government Partnership. And for context, those who don't know where Quezon City is, it is in Metro Manila, and it is 1/4 of the metropolis, and we have a population of about 3.2 million people. And one of the problems that was quite grave when I took office in 2019 was the problem of corruption, bureaucratic red tape, and non-transparency in the use of the people's resources. And so we wanted to be a model for good governance. And we believe that the best way we could do this is to be able to embrace digital tools. And so one of the first steps we did was to create a platform called the Quezon City e-Services. And at present, of course, it took us quite a while to build this, but at present, 6 years down the road, this platform has 100 services now online, from paying your taxes, applying for a business permit, renewing your business permit, paying for your real property taxes as well, business taxes, every single service, no, not just the transactional ones that have to do with business and revenue generation, but also social services. Services like applying for a scholarship, services like applying for housing, applying for death benefits or burial assistance or medical assistance. Everything that any citizen needs is now available online. So it is possible now to do business in the city, get benefits, get assistance without setting foot in Quezon City. And as a result of this, there has been much, I think, positive feedback from the people. But I believe the most important thing is that we have been able to reduce or in fact eliminate red tape. We are the model city of the ARTA, or the Anti-Red Tape Authority. And also, I think one indicator that you are addressing corruption is if your revenue is rising. And so I'm proud to say that the revenue of the city, the budget of the city, has increased by 90% since 2019, from 21 billion to 40 billion, without raising taxes. I want to stress that, just by employing good governance measures and tools. So, and now there are 3 million people that are registered in our e-services account, and these include not just our citizens, but also everybody that does business in Quezon City. And I believe that this has really increased our responsiveness to the needs of the people. This has made sure that our resources are used equitably. This also has ensured that there is no face-to-face interaction and less or no discretionary powers that could influence corrupt practices. And I believe that this digital tool still has many room for improvement. So this is now the next step that I would like to get into when you ask me the next question, which is about what we want to do in the future. So I know there's a second question, right? Or can I proceed now with that? Okay, so the e-services platform has so much more room for improvement. But one of the things that the city government would like to do is to strengthen citizen participation. No? So at the moment, the Quezon City government has a Quezon City People's Council. This is institutionalized. We have 5,000 accredited civil society organizations representing 23 sectors already working with the city government. They are very active in policy making. They sit in all our local special bodies. They sit in all our task forces. They sit in all our councils. And they are active participants in when we pass ordinances through the city council. But I would like this group of people, our CSOs, to be capacitated more, because I would like them to participate in the budget process. So participatory budgeting is one of the #1 priorities of our city government now. So this entails, of course, capacity building for all our CSO members, which we are going to undertake. And we would also like to incorporate participatory budgeting in our e-services platform so that this can be done online as well. So that's one. And the second, we are currently now building a open data dashboard wherein we would like all the information pertaining to our city, housing information, demographic information, gender information, climate information, education, health statistics. Everything will be online for easy for transparency and for the benefit of our citizens. But in conjunction with information, we also would like to develop a better feedback mechanism so that citizens can file their complaints, register these complaints, especially those that have to do with corrupt practices, especially those that are not reaching us because they belong to the far-flung parts of our city. Our city is the biggest city in Metro Manila, and we would like to be able to generate that feedback from the people and develop a framework so that these can be easily resolved. We can time them, and then we can rate the performance of the different departments of our city government. And with that rating system, which is crowdsourced based on how well and how good they resolve our problems, we can improve our service delivery as well. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what we're doing in Quezon City. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Really appreciate it, and really demonstrating the impact that digital can have on, the administration, resources, service delivery, and also that ambition. Congratulations as well for you and the team for submitting their very first OGP local action plan, including some challenge commitments that you've just mentioned, like the participatory budgeting. So thank you very much for that. And now I'm actually going to go right to your right and call on Mayor Sargsyan from Armavir, Armenia, also an OGP member. Mayor.
Բարև ձեզ։ Ուրախ եմ այսօր գտնվել այստեղ եւ մասնակցել բաց կառավարման գործընկերության այս կարևոր համաժողովին։ Մեզ համար սա ոչ միայն հարթակե փորձի փոխանակման համար, այլև հնարավորություն ամրապնդելու մեր հանձնառությունը թափանցիկության, հաշվետվականության եւ մասնակցային կառավարման նկատմամբ։ Բաց կառավարման գործընկերության շրջանակում համագործակցությունը ոչ միայն ուժեղացնում է տեղական ինքնակառավարման համակարգը, այլև խթանում է համայնքների զարգացումը ներգրավելով հասարակությանը որոշումների կայացման գործընթացում։ Թիմ կառավարություն համագործակցության լավագույն փորձը Արմավիրում մասնակցային բյուջետավորման ծրագրի ներդրումն էր։ Արմավիրում մասնակցային բյուջետավորման շրջանակներում համայնքի բնակիչները հնարավորություն ունեն առաջարկելու համայնքային զարգացման ծրագրեր եւ քվեարկել դրանց իրականացման օգտին։ Սա թույլ է տալիս բնակիչներին անմիջականորեն ազդել իրենց համայնքի բյուջետային հատկացումների վրա, ինչը մեծացնում է վստահությունը տեղական ինքնակառավարման մարմինների նկատմամբ եւ ապահովում է ավելի թափանցիկ գործընթացներ։ Այս մոդելը ոչ միայն ամրապնդում է համայնքի կառավարումը, այլև բարձրացնում է Արմավիր համայնքի վարկանիշը, որը որպես առաջադեմ թափանցիկ եւ ժողովրդական կառավարման սկզբունքներին հավատարիմ համայնք։ Մենք հասկանում ենք, որ համայնքի վարկանիշի բարձրացման ուղղակիորեն կապված է արդյունավետ կառավարման, մասնակցային քաղաքականության եւ նորարար լուծումների ներդրման հետ։ Դրա համար էլ մենք շարունակելու ենք ընդլայնել թափանցիկ կառավարման մեխանիզմները, ներգրավելով մեր համայնքի բնակիչներին որոշումների կայացման գործընթացներում։ Արմավիրը 2022 թվականին միանալով տեղական ԲԿԳ համակարգին կամավոր հիմունքներով ստանձնել էր մասնակցային բյուջետավորումը համայնքում ներդնելու
this implementation of this project of participatory budgeting. In the first year, the level of engagement was not high due to the lack of awareness and trust. The second year was much more efficient, and Armavir was included in the pilot project of participatory budget, receiving support both from local and international partners, for example, GIZ and civil society. It allowed us to increase the scale of the process and increase the level of local engagement, having more resources and control. In order to implement this project, we received huge support from the Ministry of the Local Administration. We were supported by their experience on different stages of the engagement budgeting. The results were also gained through the close cooperation with ministries and other bodies. We built tight relations with their representatives. So the projects also allowed us to organize teamwork with government and local administration. For us, the increase of the level of people's engagement was very important. It was visible even after the processes, especially during the second year when the citizens were more actively engaged in the process of proposing, voting, and they even helped the implementation. Armavir also includes not only the city of Armavir, but also 10 villages. So we launched the process of sharing information, which is very important in the process of aligned development of the region. Thanks to those actions, we started and are implementing projects like building of playgrounds, reconstruction of parks, of municipality building, and so on. These actions allow the citizens to take part in decision-making processes, in the budget allocation, and we also are happy that our example inspires the neighboring communities. Mezamor is a new ODP member, and they are already ready to implement these mechanisms. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Sargsyan. Very nice to hear also the reflection that this is a process. At the beginning, maybe citizen participation is slow, but by continuing ensuring results, you can see more and more participation. I would like to now go to Indonesia, specifically to Madiun City. We have with us Mayor-elect Maidi, who just arrived this morning to be here with us. So we appreciate the effort, and the word is yours.
Terima kasih. Pada siang hari ini saya diberi kesempatan menyampaikan permasalahan-permasalahan kota. Saya Wali Kota Madiun, Indonesia. Khususnya tadi sudah disampaikan beberapa teman wali kota. Kota saya ini adalah kota kecil, di mana kota ini
small city where in the past 5 years the problems or challenges were quite a lot, including maternal death, pregnant women death, more waste, high climate temperature, and many leaders with various issues. So with these recent problematic situations, we think that it is influenced by the community itself. So as the mayor, I open to the community to discuss with the community about the budgeting. So we invite people with and without problems, and those who are concerned to the city problems. So we invite the businessmen, the private sectors, religious leaders, and everyone who care to the city. And we invite all of them on how to deal with these current problems. So all we do open budgeting process. We welcome feedbacks, critics, and we implement the project together. So with this condition, so when we hear any feedbacks or critics or problems, so we'll hear them and we will do the steps to deal with them. So one of the things that we did is that we want people and everyone will support. For example, one baby is being born, then these parents will plant one plant. So it will have a good feedback that we can get more oxygen and will improve the condition of the environment. So it is one thing. So how about the flooding? So all the infrastructures, we have to do sustainable infrastructure construction. So how we build this infrastructure and how to give the rain to be absorbed by the land. And when we plan the program, we conduct musrenbang. So it is a city level discussion among the stakeholders. So there will be no one is blaming, no one is against the government. So we are the facilitator for the people. So the government doesn't need to have a feeling that they are against the community. So with this kind of condition, so gradually our city is improved. And I heard that one of the successful implementation is information technology. Once we improve the capacity of the community in terms of dealing with information technology, and we do some change, concrete change, and they will feel the impact of this achievement. And we welcome the critics, and it is a constructive feedback with the city. So during the program evaluation, one of the things that we discussed there is how we evaluate all the programs and how this program can address the challenges or problems. So in my city, there is no pregnant mothers who are having the maternal mortality is decreased very significant. Now it is zero maternal mortality, and now there is no more flooding. And our commitment, the hospital, those people who are getting sick should be decreased, not higher number of people who are sick. And the hospital's revenue should be decreased. So this is what we convey the message to our stakeholders. And all the activities is open, starting from the law enforcement officers, and we invite them on how to support the program in conjunction with support from the communities. And we shouldn't have reach with the program implementation when we also want to make an open budgeting and open reporting regarding the expenses. So minus 54 million, and now it is really having a significant improvement in terms of the revenue. So that's why we can fund, or we can have a budget for funding our own infrastructure development in terms of flooding management, and also improving the condition of the hospitals, so people will be get healthier with our financing, self-financing system. Thank you very much for your attention.
The effort to attend here and sharing those ambitions and those results. I would like to take an airplane now and maybe go to the Kyrgyz Republic, where we have two local members, both Bishkek and Osh, and they're very lucky to be able to be supported by civil society organization, the Development Policy Institute. Here we have Azamat Namitov representing them.
Thank you very much, Jose. First of all, I would like to thank Philippines government for inviting to such a beautiful regional meeting, and I would like to thank OGP support team for giving us such an opportunity to learn new things. As Jose said, my name is Azamat. I am representing Development Policy Institute. Development Policy Institute is working from 2007 on local self-government and citizen participation. We have two cities that are members of OGP Local, the capital of the Kyrgyz Republic, Bishkek, and the second biggest city, Osh city. In this, after being a member of OGP Local, we created Open Bishkek Working Committee. The working committee consists of 50% members of city mayor's office, and 50% is representatives of active civil society. So we have two committees in two cities. So one of the responsibilities of this committee is to develop an action plan. In Bishkek, we are about to finish our action plan. We have three commitments. First commitment is about increasing citizen participation in city development planning. The second commitment is improving open platforms for citizens to discuss property management issues. And the third commitment is improving citizen feedback mechanism, so feedback on how the mayor's office is working. And about the Osh, we are at the age of developing our action plan. And in Kyrgyzstan, we say that it is better to see one time than to hear 100 times. So attending this 3 days regional meeting gave me good ideas on climate change, new ideas on citizen participatory budgeting, new ideas on monitoring and evaluation system, new ideas on digital tools. So we will take into consideration in these topics, these new ideas in developing action plan of the Osh city.
Thank you, Samad, for sharing that very interesting elements of citizen participation and feedback in such things like land management, which I found really fascinating. I would like to now give the word to Liz Villegas, who is from UCLG Asia Pacific chapter. They are an organization, if you don't know, that promote strong and effective democratic local self-government throughout the region, but also do so much more for stronger local governments. Liz.
Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this dialogue. I speak on behalf of the Secretary General of the United Cities and Local Governments Asia Pacific. UCLG ASPAC is the largest regional section of UCLG, a worldwide association of local governments recognized by the UN. UCLG ASPAC has worked with Open Government Indonesia in providing training for local governments on international cooperation in 2023 and inclusive city development through cooperation in 2024. Promoting city-to-city cooperation can bolster regional development and support the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Through these trainings, we have heard city testimonials on the success of decentralized cooperation. However, there are also challenges experienced in the areas of geopolitical context and legal frameworks. Additionally, on our work in capacity building, together with the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, we have developed a gender-responsive participatory budgeting training module. We also include GRPB in the finance module of the Asia-Pacific Mayors Academy, a program aimed at newly elected mayors and governors in the region. And it's also a pleasure to have beside me our mayor of Fuvamula, who is also one of our alumni in this capacity building program. In public space development, we have worked with UN Habitat for a community-level participatory design of public space in the city of Surabaya. In the localization of the Sustainable Development Goals, we are supporting local and regional governments and their associations in developing a voluntary local review and voluntary subnational review, and encouraging active stakeholder engagement in the process of monitoring the achievement of the 2030 agenda at the local level. These are just some of the ways in which UCLG ASPAC has been expanding and deepening OGP at the local level. What we see as an opportunity for OGP is to support decentralized cooperation and enable cities to learn more from each other. The presence of champion local governments here show the strong political will of local leaders to OGP. We need to provide an enabling environment, including capacity building and legal framework that will support decentralized cooperation. Asia and the Pacific is a diverse region, but we will always have a connection. OGP can strengthen that connection, forming a bond that can have a lasting impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. And of course, the work that's being done to connect, to build the capacities to strengthen local governments from UCLG is very important. We very much look forward to working with you. And everybody in the room, if you haven't or don't know too much about UCLG, I highly recommend that you catch Liz before she leaves. I hope you brought enough cards, Liz. Next, I would like to come back to the Philippines and invite Mayor Magalong from Baguio City to take the word.
Good morning, everyone. I prepared a written message, but I would rather speak from the heart. First of all, I would like to thank our partners for accepting us to the OGP Global Network. And it gives us so much pleasure to be part of the OGP. Let me talk about OGP in the context of good governance and corruption, which are actually the most pressing concern now in our country today. And being a member and lead convener of the Mayors for Good Governance together with Mayor Joy Belmonte and 4 others, we're now leading about 201 local government units out of the 1,600. We started with 56, now we're at 201. Are we that many? No, we're just scratching the surface. We have a total of about 1,604 plus 1,604 local governments. So that's our 201 is just a representation of about 11.8%. Probably the most challenging is how to entice other local governments, despite the fact that we have these mayors for good governance. Why are we having a difficult time enticing them, influencing them, and inviting them to join the Open Government Partnership? And the reason for that is being a member and being a local chief executive. One thing that I learned is a lot of our local chief executives do not want to give up their special perks and privileges. And when I talk about special perks and privileges, I put this in quotation, meaning they're not willing to give up the corruption practices. And that's a big challenge that we're facing now. I learned that there's no short-term solution in this fight. I found out that there's only a long-term solution. And the only way we will be able really to fight corruption is to start it with the young people. Why the young people? Why the young people? It's because they have so much energy. They're so courageous. They're not afraid to speak up. They believe in change, and they want to make a big difference. And that's the reason why in the city of Baguio, we're so enthusiastic in making sure that our young people are empowered. And there are only 3 ways by which we're empowering our young people now in the city of Baguio. Baguio is 49% IP. And you know, the culture and tradition of the IP, only the elders have the right to lead. Only the elders have the right to decide. But we're challenging the status quo. And so I've been talking to the elders now and telling them there are only 3 ways to empower young people today. First is allow them to take the lead. Allow them to participate in decision making. And the third is probably one of the most difficult skill and talent of any political leader, or any leader or elder for that matter, is to listen, active listening skills. One thing that I learned also, that in this fight against corruption, despite the fact that we have all these technologies, we also have all these systems, digitalization, and all the other, stop measures that we are undertaking. I learned that there's no substitute to leadership. When you talk about good governance, it should always start with the leaders. And so I keep on saying, leadership and good governance should start with me. There's no substitute to leadership by example. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for those words and really for highlighting the importance of that leadership, because this is a local leaders roundtable. And in OGP, what I like to say is the core element is leading by example. The example is the action plan, but the leadership comes from all of you. Thank you so much for that. I would like now to take us back to Armenia, to one of our newest members at OGP Local, the head of the community, Karchitrian Metsamor.
Ողջունում եմ ներկաներին, շնորհակալություն խոսքի համար։ Մեզ համար մեծ պատիվ է ներկա գտնվել այս քննարկմանը։
It's an honor to be here and participate in this discussion. The municipality of Metsamor tries to create the governing model of transparency based on the aligned principle of governance. By adopting these principles, the municipality has the goal to provide information availability to the citizens and increase the level of engagement through specific mechanisms and provide innovation, efficiency, and inclusivity. We also try to enforce the dialogue and cooperation between different stakeholders in order to face the challenges, the local challenges together, uniting our forces. The action plan of 25-26 has two commitments which are directed at increasing the level of citizens' participation. First of all, through the direct participation of citizens in decision-making, budgeting processes. And the second one is creation of the network of active young people and ensuring their participation in decision-making processes. So, the implementation of participatory budgeting. This will allow to promote the direct participation of citizens in different processes of governance and increase the efficiency of problem solution. So we will create opportunities to citizens to discuss different ideas, projects which will be looked through, and we will select those the best ones and implement them. We also plan to implement the project of young ambassadors. So there are few opportunities for young people in the community, for example, to spend time or have education. And we think that this project will allow us to link to create links between different young people across the community. The main goal is to develop skills, leadership skills, and increase the activity, increase the level of awareness. And these young ambassadors are going to participate in events organized by the municipality, volunteering work. They will be engaged in in the creation of local policies. They will be the protectors of ODP principles. We will also create a body including women. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those words and reminding us of the important role that the youth play in open government and our future. Good. Let's go once again on a short flight. I'm not sure how short or long it might be, but we want to go to Fuvahmulah in the Maldives, also one of our newest members in OGP Local, and I give the word to Mayor Rafiq.
Hi, good morning, and Magandan Hapanpo. Thank you, Jose and team, for the invitation and making this happen, and also to the people of Philippines for the great hospitality. It really feels to be at home here. I am the mayor of Fuvahmulah City from Maldives. You may all know Maldives, but Fuvahmulah, I don't think so. It's the third biggest island or city in the Maldives. Third biggest for us, but maybe smaller than your smallest cities. It's around 5 square kilometers and around 13,000 people. We are famous for tiger shark diving, so if you want to dive with tiger sharks, please come there. You can mention my name to get 20% discount on that. Yeah. It's a great honor to be part of the OGP and especially being the first from South Asia, from the local government. And from this council's governance, I mean, we have been always focused on the transparency, accountability, innovation, and digital governance. So I think being part of this network is actually going to really help us in moving forward. So, I mean, we have been doing a lot of things in these areas. For example, we are among the first local governments in Maldives to comply with the Right to Information Act. And we have fully complied with it, and now we are working on the proactive disclosure to provide more information said in the law. And also to engage with citizens, we have been trialing with voluntary advisory boards. So we have around 11 advisory boards which people can join on a volunteer basis. So the idea is to have experts from these relevant areas, for example, on climate, on economic, on tourism, and allow these volunteers to actually advise the council proactively on their own, or if the council has some requests, they can advise on those matters. And we have also been quite, progressed on the online services from the councils. More than 95% of service, the citizens can apply online. You don't have to come to the office. So we seize it making more accessible. For example, those who are maybe special needs, who have difficulty to come to the office, they can apply for our service from home as well. And we also have a portal to report municipal issues, where you can easily report it and you can track it over time. And also from the council side, we can actually monitor what's happening, how it is progressing, what is being pending, for example, and it's easy for us to address that as well. And also, we have been very much focused on empowering women and the marginalized community, especially on the economic side. So we have had some programs and funding to develop skill development programs, and also helping them to fund through microfinance schemes, for them to start the business and sell their items. And I have been very inspired with the stories I have heard in these sessions, and also meeting other local leaders. So going forward, we have a lot of plans and ambitions, and one is on the citizen engagement. From the council, we have, I think for the first time in Maldives, in the council structure, we have a citizen engagement unit to start with. I think last month we had come with it. We want to proactively engage, especially the youth. So we have now launched a portal, an engagement portal, but we want to market it more and get more youth to engage with it. So through this portal, we can have various debates on social issues, community issues. We can get feedback on the proposals. We can do participatory budgeting. So it's quite an exciting area for us to go ahead. And the other one is on the open data. I mean, a lot of councils, we publish data, but sometimes it is not in a usable format. So you want to make sure it is accessible and usable. Sometimes we put information in images, photos, or PDF. So we want to make it more usable, like in Excel format, CSV format. So maybe other CSOs, individuals, they can use it to actually analyze the data and find trends or identify patterns and highlight that to make us more accountable. And being from all this, I think climate is again something which we have to focus on. So we are very much focused on disaster resilience, disaster preparedness. So how, as a local government, we can work with our community and other partners to make sure that we are very resilient and we are prepared to face disasters. And I think some of the sessions I have are on this open procurement and open contracting. This is something very much of interest to us. So going forward, we want to emphasize on this. And even now we are working on the digital governance. And for the procurement side, we are going to launch a portal where vendors can easily submit their bids through this portal to make it more open and transparent. And I think that again would be a first for local government in Maldives. And so it's quite exciting to be part of the OGP, and I look forward to learning from you all. And hopefully next time we meet, I can share some experience from our side, what has worked and what has not worked. So thank you again for this chance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that, and highlight the importance of climate in some of our local jurisdictions, and just to know that it is a theme that we see across, and we're working with many others to share experiences around that as well. Good. Thank you so much. I would like to go a little bit further, but actually not too far away, because I would like to invite the British ambassador to the Philippines, Laura Bouffield, who is sitting right next to you, to take the word. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose. And first of all, thank you for inviting me. I feel incredibly humbled to be here with local leaders and champions who are actually doing the work of taking open governance to their cities and municipalities. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to join you. The UK is one of the founding members of Open Governance Partnership, and we remain incredibly proud to be supporting and working closely with you. The question put to me as a partner of OGP was, how can we help? What is our role in this space? And I'd like to highlight 3 areas where I think we can and must make a difference. One is from a political level, the second is in terms of our investments, and the third is in terms of our partnerships. But first, on the political side, I think we, liberal democracies in particular, have a responsibility to keep talking about the fundamental importance of open governance. We should do this in international fora. Of course, we should do this whenever we have the opportunity to do so, to raise these issues, to make them part of the international discourse. We can politically also use our positions, such as mine here as an ambassador, to shine a light on good practice, create platforms where appropriate, and celebrate success where they exist. We have to recognize that many of the leaders that are champions for open governance and that are with us today are indeed courageous and bold leaders that sometimes take risks in doing what they do, sometimes fighting against vested interests in so doing. So I think celebrating their success and giving them a platform is really very important indeed. And third, I think we do need to also create spaces for lesson learning and dialogue, creating networks amongst leaders so that they can support each other and learn from each other. In terms of investments, we've already heard some important ideas. I think we can invest in better understanding what works in different contexts. So there's something about monitoring and evaluation, and then when we invest in learning, investing in scale and taking to scale the innovations that you are all telling us about to maximize your particular impact. I think we can invest in innovation, and some innovations won't work. That is okay, recognizing that in all of this there might be an element of failure. I think that's part of innovation. Failing is fine, failing fast is what we want, and learning fast from that as well. We've spoken about capacity building. Of course, that's essential in open governance in general, in public financial management, in many thematic issues that we know about, not least climate adaptation that you mentioned earlier, but also with young ambassadors, as we were hearing before, so, and as Mayor Magalong was telling us, investing in young people and their capability to drive change, I think is very, very important. And I think we should invest again in those cities that do things well. So I'm based in the Philippines. I'm immensely proud and privileged to be able to partner with Mayor Belmonte in Quezon City and Mayor Magalong in Baguio on climate change or on water, whatever works in particular cities. We need to put our money where our mouth is on that. And then the third role I think we have is on partnerships. So we've spoken about partnerships, of course, and collaborations across public and private. Here I want to bring in the role of the private sector as well as innovators working closely with cities and young people and civil society organizations and the like. And I think as partners, friends, and supporters of all of you, this is an area where we can also add value. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I'm really loving, particularly the areas of investment. I think, of course, learning and innovation is part of what we want to see more of here at OGP Local with the support of partners like you. I really appreciate that. Good. Now, let us move on to Mayor Calibo from La Arena. They are also one of our newest members and OGP Local that have just submitted their very first action plan and challenge commitments as well. Mayor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Honored and blessed to be here. Where is La Arena? For starters, La Arena Siquijor is in Region 7. I believe we are the smallest, or the smallest here in this area. No. So population, we are 14,500. So I believe Mayor Belmonte, we're like a barangay in your place, probably. And we are 4,981 hectares only, 23 barangays. But I am proud and humbled to say that we are a Grand Slam for SGLG. So I believe being here and being a member of the OGP is quite a challenge for us. So where do I start? So I believe I'll start with telling you guys that when I started back 2022, I really didn't know what to do, being the first term mayor. So what I did was get hold with a non-government organization or an NGO to perform a rapid needs and resources assessment. So we got that from the early months of my term. So we used the result of that rapid needs assessment and resource assessment, that we used it in ELA, or the executive and legislative agenda. So that's where we started, that's where I started, wherein that assessment includes all sectors, from women, from the farmers to fisher folks, youth, I believe everybody in our barangays were included. So from then on, we made plans to include all these, should I say, things, all those problems, all those issues from the barangays in our planning. So successfully, or with those problems being brought to us, we were able to make, should I say, a better plan. That's why maybe we got the SGLG for the third time. And however, it's been a challenge for us in the LGU. Why? I believe it's one of our problems that we raised about the procurement. Yeah, about the procurement, sad to say, late last year, some of our BAC members were suspended. So yeah, it has been a challenge. So we started from scratch, I believe, and we have a new members on our bids and awards committee. So right now we are still trying to adapt and learn from the mistakes that we had previously, and trying to train all these new ones in our group, being new to this career, and of course from our team, I have with me my municipal and planning coordinating officer, so Engineer Christine over there. So yeah, I believe we are here to listen. We are here to learn from you guys, being one of the smallest member of this OGP. And I hope and I believe that with your stories to share, we can learn and we can use it in our small little place. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mayor, for sharing those interesting words about how you started, but also sharing some of the challenges. And I think it's also a good reflection that doesn't matter your size, what matters is your desire to improve and to become more open. And that's something that really binds us together. Good. Next up, and we're going down the list pretty well, so I want to thank everybody for staying in time. We'd like to go to Kuludufushi in the Maldives and invite Mayor Atif. This is very interesting because you don't have to be an OGP local member to be able to be a leader in open government and be here in these spaces. Mayor, the word is yours.
Esteemed guests, attendees, good morning and thank you. I am Mohammed Atif from Maldives. I have the privilege of serving as the mayor of Kurdufuri city. It is located in the most northern part of the Maldives. A small city, the population is around 15,000. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to OGP and UNDP for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to take part in this Asia and the Pacific regional meeting. And today, it is a great privilege for me to discuss our city's progress in embracing open government principles. Kurdufuri city stands out as one of only 6 institutions in Maldives that comply with mandatory information disclosure requirements, and the first local government to achieve so. We are the first local government to achieve so. Also, we are the first city council in Maldives to include civic engagement in the organizational structure back in 2021. And our city council has made notable advancements in promoting transparency and engaging our citizens. Our flagship reform has been a complete revamp of our public engagement framework. We have established regular drop-in sessions every Monday, allowing any constituent to engage directly with council members and as well as me to express concerns or share ideas regarding ongoing projects and community matters. Additionally, we have implemented public consultations prior to finalizing each year's work plan and the budget. This initiative has fundamentally changed the way we interact with our citizens, shifting from a conventional top-down approach to a more collaborative governance model. The results have been remarkable. Through these open dialogue sessions, we have seen increased citizens' participation in planning and implementing local development projects, more efficient and problem solving as issues are addressed before they escalate, enhanced trust between the council and the community members, better informed decision making incorporating diverse community perspectives. Looking ahead, we are embarking on even more ambitious reform. We plan to move beyond mandatory disclosure requirements to implement full transparency of all council data and information. This includes comprehensive disclosure of financial and procurement data in analyzable formats, setting a new standard for fiscal transparency in local governance. Furthermore, we will be launching targeted engagement initiatives, particularly focusing on youth participation through our new youth talk sessions we have planned. These specialized forums will be created, dedicated spaces for young people to provide feedback and ideas across different areas of city development, ensuring their voices shape our community's future. These initiatives extend beyond our city's limit by demonstrating that transparent participatory governance is achievable in small island communities. We are contributing to the broader regional dialogue on open government. Our experience shows that size doesn't limit our ambitions when it comes to good governance. At this moment, we are not a member of the Open Government Partnership, but we are looking forward to the opportunity to join OGP soon. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Really appreciate that. And of course, happy to have you as part of this community in any configuration. And let's talk about membership later on. Thank you so much. Good. I would like to go now back to Indonesia, where I would like to invite the Assistant Secretary of Economic Development of West Sumbawa, one of our OGP members, who's going to be starting the co-creation of their second action plan very soon. Suhadi.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hadirin sekalian yang berbahagia, selamat siang.
Good afternoon. I am Suhadi. I'm from West Sumbawa, West Nusa Tenggara in Indonesia. It is a very small area for Indonesia, and we are now, it's like 21 years old of this West Sumbawa district. So with this small area, we have a high commitment to improve the governance in our area, although it is like a new area in the country, but we achieve quite a good increase improvement at national level. So we receive like 10 years from the national financial audit that we get a higher grade.
Hal yang yang penting yang perlu kami sampaikan adalah bahwa kami punya komitmen yang sangat kuat untuk membangun di Kabupaten Sumbawa Barat.
Apologize for the feedback.
Korupsi yang diaplikasikan secara nasional, tapi juga kami memiliki sistem yang kami kembangkan sendiri, khususnya di dalam proses pemerintahan terbuka.
Sorry, there's a feedback. I apologize. I cannot provide the proper interpretation due to feedback. Maybe the headset of the mayor is too close to the microphone, so I cannot provide the proper interpretation. I apologize for now.
Seminggu sekali
I'm
setiap
sorry,
hari.
Suhadi. Can you please wait for 1 second? We're having an issue with the translation.
Okay.
1 second. What should we do, team?
Can you remove the headset next to Mr. Mayor to turn it off? So maybe that's the feedback coming from the headset on his table.
Okay.
Can you take it off? Yeah.
Can you give it for a second? Can you remove it? Okay. Thank you. I'll give it back.
Okay, I think that works. Does it? Suhadi, if you can continue.
Salah satu model pemerintahan terbuka yang kami kembangkan di Kabupaten Sumbawa Barat adalah Forum Yasinan. Jadi Forum Yasinan ini merupakan unggulan kami di daerah dan juga sudah mendapatkan
We also received the award nationally. So nationally and internationally. We feel that with this forum, that the people's complaint system that applied nationally and generally did not work effectively. For example, the call center and also the complaint logs or other channels where people, the community were not using it. So we, as the head of the Sumbawa Barat district, to issue a new idea so that the channel to provide this idea, provide it directly. So we sit together in a forum and openly, and also in the forum, the community, the people can convey their complaints. It can be provided directly to the government apparatus, the officers, regionally, or other verticals or relevant institution. So in this forum, we not only presented the regional institutions, but also vertical institutions such as the police, regional police, and also the local military commander, and also other institutions like the land office and other regional office. In this forum, the community, the people can convey their complaints or their concerns, and the government can provide quick response within 24 hours for all of the complaints in this forum that we have. With this forum, we find that there have been a good interaction between the people and the government, and they feel like there are no distance between them. Then they can give these feedbacks and inputs directly to all of these institutions, vertical, and they provide them a convenient way to communicate. And this is the kind of participation that we need from the people. In this forum, we have performed an evaluation regarding the achievement of the development and other things, the gaps that still need to be improved. And the government also gives their strong commitment to improve the services to the people. One of the important things is that democracy is one of an effort to improve the basic services to the people so they can become a better every day on the daily basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Suhadi, for sharing with us that very interesting forum for exchange. Now, I would like to go to Arpin Hacobayan. She is the president of the NGO Center in our media civil society organization that has been supporting an integral part of our members, Gyumri and Banansor. Arpin.
Thank you, Jose, and thank you, dear guests, colleagues, leaders, and champions. It's a big honor for me to have an opportunity to have a speech during this roundtable and sharing experiences and inspirations for more open, inclusive, and resilient future for our communities. As the president of NGO Center Civil Society Development NGO, I am delegated to reflect on the significant strides Armenia has taken in advancing open government principles at the local level, with a particular focus on Vanadzor, Armavir communities. Armenia's journey with the Open Government Partnership began in 2011, embedding principles of transparency, accountability, and citizen participation into its governance frameworks. Vanadzor and Gyumri City jointly applied to become a local OGP partner in 2012, and since there they are implementing commitments. The local engagement of Vanadzor and Gyumri communities as members of the OGP local network represents a major milestone, laying the groundwork for a new area of collaborative governance. This progress, despite challenges such as pandemic and regional conflicts, has demonstrated the resilience and potential of open government to transfer lives at local levels. While talking about Vanadzor city, the most significant achievement in this process has been the establishment of constructive partnership between the local government and civil society organizations. Unlike earlier initiatives where cooperation often felt obligatory, this time the enthusiasm and responsibility demonstrated by the municipality were remarkable. Together, we have advanced projects designed to make our communities more transparent, participatory, and efficiency. My colleagues have already mentioned the main significant achievement in Armenia. It's its participatory budgeting. So I would like to tell that the champions in Armenia of participatory budgeting is Ministry of Territorial Administration and GIZ, and so this is a really significant achievement for Armenia. Participatory budgeting has emerged as a significant tool for enhancing local governance and community engagement, allows citizens to directly influence how municipal funds are empower residents to give them a voice in decision-making on public projects such as infrastructure improvements, educational facilities, and community services. The OGP commitment of participatory budgeting reflects a growing commitment to transparency and civic participation, aiming to strengthen democratic practice and foster greater accountability at the local level. This innovation not only increased civil engagement, but also strengthened trust in local governance. While speaking about civil society organizations in driving OGP processes, I would like to mention that the role was pivotal role in bridging the gap between government and citizens. Through our involvement, we facilitate inclusive dialogue, advocate for participatory reforms, and monitor the implementation of commitments. Especially in Vanadzor city, civil society organizations have been instrumental in three parts, mobilizing diverse voices. For the first, we ensured that vulnerable and marginalized population, including people with disabilities, were actively involved in co-creation process. For the second, building capacity. With support from the international organizations, more than 20 stakeholders, including CSOs, educators, and media representatives, were trained in open government concepts and digital democratic tools. And for the third, ensuring accountability. Civil society is at the forefront of monitoring progress, providing independent evaluations of commitments and promoting transparency in resource allocation and service delivery. Despite these successes, there is room for improvement. First, we need stronger institutional mechanisms to ensure that participatory practices are embedded in local governance rather than depend on individual leaders or short-term projects. This includes legally mandating citizen participation in municipal decision-making processes. Second, scaling up direct democracy measures, such as online petitions, digital town halls, and co-creation workshops can deepen citizen engagement and make governance more accessible. And finally, enhancing cross-sectoral partnership is key. Collaboration between municipalities, civil society, academia, and the private sector can drive innovation in local governance. For example, leveraging tech solutions like open data platforms or AI-driven public feedback tools can make decision-making more transparent and responsive to community needs. By institutionalizing these approaches, we can create a governance culture where transparency, participatory, and accountability become the norm, not innovation. And in conclusion, I would like to say that OGP local framework has taught us that open government is not just a policy approach. It is a way to empower people, rebuild trust, and create lasting positive change in our communities. I firmly believe that by fostering deeper collaboration between governance and civil society, we can achieve a future where open governance become the norm, not the exception. I extend my gratitude to the OGP, the UNDP Bangkok Regional Hub and Philippines government for convening this important forum. Together, let us continue to drive ambition, scale impact, and ensure that no community is left behind in the pursuit of open and participatory governance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pin, for those inspirational words and reminding us the important role of civil society of bridging these gaps that we really need to close. Good. Next up, I would like to invite Mayor Garcia from Balanga City in the Philippines to take the word. Please, Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. So I'm Mayor Francis, and I'm the mayor of the city of Balanga, which is in the province of Bataan. It's the capital city just across Manila, across Manila Bay. But right now, by land, you have to go around Central Luzon to get there. But we are a fairly small city, more than 100,000 population. But we try to achieve as much as we can. So we are an 8th straight Seal of Good Local Governance awardee. We're also the 2024 most business-friendly city for Level 3 cities. We're also one of the members of the UNESCO Learning Cities International Network. And most recently, our wetland and nature park just got included in the Ramsar list of wetlands of international importance. So the local governance and open governance is very important to us. It's part of our mission to have a participatory government. And we do that in various ways. First of all, we use the performance governance system, wherein we have the MSGC or the Multi-Sectoral Governance Coalition, which is an umbrella group of private organizations that help in advising the city and its different committees and departments. And it is a very active organization that really helps me and our city in our governance. Apart from that, of course, we have the different organizations, most important of all, our barangay or village officials. And then again, we have very active senior citizens groups, women's, PWD or persons with disability, solo parents, scholars, and youth. Of course, our Chamber of Commerce, our farmers and fishermen, and our cooperatives. And we really actively get feedback from all of them, and if there are any suggestions or complaints, it gets to us right away. And also in the membership in the different committees in the city, like the Local Development Council, Local School Board, we actively get from our private citizens organizations to help us. And this directly leads to our budgeting efforts, etc. And then if the other ways that the people can reach us, of course, is through City Hall. Just go to City Hall, go to our office, my office, or our department heads. And Facebook has proven to be a very invaluable tool. So I hope it's okay to. So some might not like social media, but for me, it's been a very valuable tool. So we have group chats for everything, especially during times of disaster. All the important members are included, the barangay officials, so that there's immediate feedback. And then, of course, through the city message hotline, they can get a message from anyone in our population. And of course, in my own account, I always and actively read not just your regular chat, but the message request, even the spam, because there might be some messages there of someone trying to reach out to me directly for their concerns. And of course, the national government also has the 888 Citizens Complaint Hotline, which our citizens actively use also. And then I agree with Mayor Magalong that really our youth is the most important population that we really have to educate. So as part of our programs in each of our barangays or villages, we have the Barangay Learning Hub where there's free use of computers, high-speed internet, air conditioning, and a facilitator so that people who can't afford to buy their own computer, get their own internet, they can just go there. So that solves the digital divide. And then I'm proud to say that in our public schools, every teacher has the latest laptop. The latest we got are MacBooks. And every classroom has at least a 55-inch widescreen TV, so that we've turned every classroom into an AVR so that they don't have to wait for the AVR schedule. And because the complexity of the lessons now and also the many tasks of the teachers, now they just create their presentations on the laptop, present it on the TV. They don't have to write on their blackboard over and over again. So by this, we will educate our young to be very productive members of our society, and of course, be included in the participatory governance that is in our mission. For the future, just like Mayor Belmonte said, we want to be even quicker in terms of finding out what our population needs, what the latest problems are, so that we can respond even quicker to all our needs of our constituents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate you being here, being a committed advocate as well for open government, and reminding us that we need to check our spam folder once in a while because we might have a really important message to attend. Excellent. Now I would like to call on the Deputy Head of Finance of Yerevan Municipality, Mr. Minasian.
Հարգելի գործընկերներ, ողջունում եմ ձեզ այս կարևոր նախաձեռնության շրջանակներում։ Երևանի քաղաքապետարանը իրականում
My warm greetings for this beautiful commitment, and Yerevan municipality has done a lot to have democratic and wide system which is prosperous than ever. And in this context, as we don't have enough time, I will focus on the main things. Particularly, I would like to talk about civic activities. And Yerevan municipality has recently triggered the platform system, which is a bridge between citizens and community. And With this platform, due to this platform, citizens have the opportunity, have the possibility to raise their problems, to talk about their concerns, and try to find someone, try to find a staff that will tackle the problem and find solutions and way outs in this situation. And later, they will, but they will have a follow-up procedure. And Yerevan municipality, regarding accountability, has an interactive budgeting platform, which basically helps the staff to perform accountability. Sometimes all these details are not available for the citizens, and that's why the municipality has launched citizens budget project, and this is a very important document, and this is a very, very important bridge, a very important opportunity for the citizen. As Yerevan municipality in 2025 has developed to have a budget, has drafted it with its main issues. They will show what they will give the community, what the advantages will, what benefits they have for the community. And I think that the next step is to go closer to participatory. And why are we so peculiar in Yerevan? We will try to invest to introduce AI in all these participatory procedures, and that will be a completely new U-turn in this process. A boom, I think, and that will be a great opportunity to make the transition easier so that they can do it with ease, and there will be no obstacles for them to show their initiations, their concerns, and also we have a midterm project implementation. We want to have the financial map of the city. Well, the map will show the example map of Yerevan, and point by point we will have all the projects, and the budget will come along with them, and we will have the expenditure list, we will have the expenses, and the citizen will have a concrete access to all these budgets, all these projects, to see what the next step is, what projects are going to be implemented, and tracking will help them a lot. I think this much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that innovation that you're sharing and ambition of Yerevan that you've demonstrated through your action plans as well. Now, I would like to turn to Muklis Raya, who is a program director in Patiro Semarang, one of the civil society organizations supporting our local member, Semarang.
Thank you, Jose. Salamat. I am Muklis. I'm working for Patiro. We are working focused on budget and good local government. We are facing some difficult as well in Indonesia. For example, this week our president's giving a new decree about the budget efficiency for my country. So they're cutting the travel budget for all the public servants in Indonesia. So I think because of this meeting as well, this impacted to this meeting. So because of only two, I see only two measures from Indonesia, from 8 OGP local should be participate in this meeting. But I think this is no problem, but the most important is the commitment from all the local government. The secondly, I would like to say Indonesia, we're facing a decrease of democracy indicator, but we still hope the positive one, but the public participation is still open, and the doors, we can use the doors is the OGP to still ongoing the process of democratization in another countries as well, not only in Indonesia. So I would like to, what is the action about in our countries? So I would like to tell you all about the specific action, but the most of the process of co-creation is about the commitment. At the first time, we are working in not only in local but working in national. But in this context, I would like to tell you about the lesson learned about what we do in the local context. Semarang is the big cities. This is number 5 in Indonesia. The big number 5 in Indonesia. We have population 1.6 million, and as we know that there is transition in all over Indonesia. We are on the transition of head of the mayor in most of Indonesia, especially in Semarang as well. But sometimes we're facing the issue about how the OGP issue is rising for the mayor itself. So we have to be commitment, and we have to be continuous the meeting with the government and the civil society. And some of the project in Semarang, after we discuss in the process of co-creation, we have some satu data or one data, and then we have focus in women and kids focus group discussion. It's quoted by the UNDP Bangkok, it's Musrembang, which focus discussion which focus on women and kids. And then the most important is, I think I would like to say in this forum, is about digital intervention. That is, we develop application, digital citizen report. Maybe we call it, the tagline is Hai Major, or in Indonesia we say Sapa Mbak Ita, or because the name of mayor, recently mayor is Ita, so we say Hai Mbak Ita. This is a digital citizen report because we have 1.6 million. With this canal, we develop the digital application. With this application, we learn about how the inclusive opportunity and also the open participation and digital intervention. We have tagline as well about see it, say it, and short it. So the public can complaining within this canal or using this application. What is the commonly issues resemble from my city? As at the big cities, there is so many problems. Of course, we find about the public transportation, public facilities, education, and public service. So with this canal, the community, the people can report what they issues in the community, and then they using the canal for reporting to the government, and the government hopefully will sort it the issue quickly. And based on what is the lesson learned from this application, I see that for the example, if we think about the application, which of course we develop something, but it is really useful or not, it is really impactful or not, we can see that based on data. I see, of course, if we going something, we see the data. Based on 2023, there are any 6,000 reporting causes from from the community, and then we see that 80% is sorted, and based on the reported from the government, we see that the 80% is good enough for the participating, and also good enough for the government response. I think it's very good.
Thank
and
you.
so I think this is very valuable as well for, I think this development of application can be lesson learned to another city as well.
Thank you, Mukhlis.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good. And now, just to drive us home, I would like to give the word to two of our steering committee members. I would very much like to start with Steph, civil society representative, to give us some words and wrap it up.
Thank you, Jose, and congratulations to all the local governments and all the hard work that you're doing. It's been a pleasure to sit and hear all the work that is happening in the various regions. I would like to take this opportunity to draw some inspiration, which I hope that you will take home with you from Makueni County in my home country, Kenya. And the reason that particular example of local government, they worked on open contracting, and there was much inspiration for me and all of us along the way. The first is that the governor of Makueni County was a pioneer, and he made a way. He adopted open contracting even before the national government had any idea what open contracting was. And he also went beyond the requirements of the law. So the national procurement law had, of course, specifications on what information should be disclosed, but as a champion and a pioneer, he went beyond what the law required, and he disclosed much more information for the local citizens in Makueni County, and he ended up influencing other local governments to be bold and innovative in serving their citizens even outside of the constraints of the law. The second thing that inspired me about the governor of Makueni County, a local leader like yours, was his humility and his buy-in. And what I mean by that is he had gone through a process prior to our partnership with him where they had tried to impeach him and remove him from leadership. And one of the reasons was because of his integrity. And a lot of the teams, unfortunately, had the practice of fleecing government funds quite easily, and they didn't like the measures that he was bringing into the government. And coming from a turbulent kind of season of when they tried to impeach him, he could have taken, and he survived the impeachment efforts, he could have taken the approach of saying, well, I'm the governor of Makueni County, and you have to do what I say. But that is not the approach he took when implementing open government reforms. As his key partners, he said to us, listen, I want genuine buy-in from my teams. I want them to understand what this means for our citizens. And so he told us, you will not proceed until you train every level of government on what it is we're trying to do. And so he required us to train the local cabinet, the directors, all of the implementers, so that their mindsets would be shifted towards open government and what it means both for government and also for citizens, because it would also improve government efficiency and so on. And that humility of approach stuck with me, and I hope that it's an inspiration for you as well. He also invested in peer support for other local leaders. He invited and hosted other local governments to learn from what Makueni County were doing. And this resulted in other local governments taking up open contracting reforms with him kind of as the lead influencer in the region. Lastly, he managed by his kind of pioneering and leadership and steadfastness to inspire the national government to adopt open contracting. And the national government eventually issued an executive order requiring all national procuring institutions to disclose more levels of procurement information. It also impacted our national scheme that reserves procurement, 30% of procurement contracts for women, youth, and persons with disability. That was previously compromised by people that would use these vulnerable groups to be able to get lucrative contracts. But adopting that approach by the national government helped this initiative achieve what it was supposed to achieve. So this was one local champion that had this full effect by taking up open government reforms. And so my goal in addressing you today is to inspire you as leaders. Majority of your work focuses on leading teams and securing results for your citizens. However, I encourage you, like this leader, Professor Kifuda Kibwana, to look up from managing your teams, to look up from securing results from your citizens, and look across. Be deliberate in using your work to make a way for others. Be deliberate on building genuine buy-in in your team so that your hard work on reforms is entrenched and is sustainable even beyond your tenure. I encourage you to invest where possible in peer support for other local governments in your region, to be able to take up the same reforms with your leadership, with your experiences. And I like what the ambassador that you said, failing is okay, but fail fast and learn quickly. And I think that would be valuable if you choose to take leadership in your region. And so I wish you every success in your continued work in open government. I hope it's okay, Jose. It's my last chance to be able to say thank you to the government of Philippines for hosting us, for the excellence, the planning, and the execution. I look forward to working with you all in my term as co-chair of the partnership starting later this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steph. And because you mentioned, no, not because you mentioned, but I would like to now give the final word to Yusek Wilford Wong from DBN, our host, also a steering committee member, and a champion not only in open government at the national level, but also local level.
Yeah,
Yusek.
thank you very much, Jose, and thank you very much also, Stephanie, for your kind words about our organizing and hosting this regional meeting. Excellencies, local government units, open government advocates from the government, civil society, private sector, and development partners. The stories and examples that you have shared this morning were impressive and very, very, it is to be taken as a good opportunity for us to continue and spread this practices, and at the same time poses an opportunity for us to improve on the challenges that we are facing in our respective local governments. As we strive to make governments more transparent, accountable, and participatory, we must encourage that real impact happens at the local government, the first point of contact to our citizens. Their proximity to people makes them powerful agents of open government principles. However, local government often faces barriers such as limited resources and weak institutional capacity. It is crucial that we continue to empower and equip local actors with the tools, legal frameworks, and political support that needs to be institutionalized through open government reforms. The Asia and the Pacific region houses some of the biggest democracies in the world, and local open government plays a pivotal role in strengthening these democracies from the ground up. When governments at all levels work together, we can create policies that reflect realities on the ground, foster inclusive participation, and ensure transparency in a way that we can help our citizens build trust. Collaboration across national, regional, and local governments, it is not just beneficial, it is necessary. As we advance the OGP agendas in our local jurisdictions, I urge all of us to prioritize local open government in national strategies and action plans, encouraging to continue multi-level partnerships to scale impact and sustainability, and to support peer learning and resource sharing between the national and local governments. By working together, we can build governments that truly serve the people from the grassroots to the national level. The future of open government depends on collaboration. Let's make this happen. Thank you very much.
Well, this concludes this session. I just want to thank all of you for your time, for your dedication, for your inspiration. And I really hope that we can continue to work so that we can change those numbers and make this region even more open at the local level. Thank you very much. Can we very quickly, the speakers come, I think, up here up front, and we'll take a picture, please. And then